On the news, President Buhari meets service chiefs, governors for second day of the rising insecurity. Russia approves first ever COVID-19 vaccine amid safety concerns. And Lebanon government stepped down as protesters demand probe into Beirut explosion. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. In a bid to find a lasting solution to the security challenges facing the country, President Muhammadu Buhari has met with service chiefs and state governors for a second straight day. The meeting is coming hours after the president reviewed that Nigeria is purchasing equipment to boost its military capacity to tackle insecurity and banditry. Aside service chiefs and heads of other security agencies at today's gathering had in attendance Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation Boss Mustapha, and National Security Advisor Babagana Monguno. Joining the meeting virtually were selected members of the Nigeria Governors Forum, including Yahaya Bello of Kogi State, Doyederi of Bayelsa State, Babagana Zulum of Borno State, Debo Mahi of Ebonyi State, and Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State. Still on security, the people of Southern Kaduna are demanding a state of their own where, according to them, their security and safety can be guaranteed. At a protest in Abuja on the recent killings in the area, the protesters under the banner of Southern Kaduna People's Union lamented the wanton killing and neglect by the government to their plight. Our correspondent Tunjioyi has more in this report.
It is most likely that within a week there won't be cries like this in Southern Kaduna. Southern Kaduna has been a battleground for criminals who invade, kill, rape, and set houses ablaze. The victims has always insisted that the perpetrators are Fulani herders, although security agents have not confirmed this. For years, this has been the situation, and for years, governors have not been able to address the situation. The latest killing in Southern Kaduna left at least 30 people dead with houses burned. The situation is becoming unbearable for Southern Kaduna indigenes. The reason for this protest in Abuja.
There have been continuous killing in Southern Kaduna. My cousin was killed few months ago in Madakia, Masirga. Now, I've been in Lagos, I've been seeing pictures, I've been communicating with my people. It's horrible. And just recently, 33 people were killed. I'm sure the media is aware of that. We saw how Jura Amadi's father was killed too. And 20 houses were burnt. Our people are in refugee camps. They can't go to their houses. They can't live in the comfort of their homes. It's quite disheartening that we have no government.
The people of Southern Kaduna have been protesting on several occasions, with the protests yielding no result. This time, they have a new message for government and their attackers.
One thing is certain. If they don't call their people to order, our people will be forced to react. They will react like the Niger Delta people. We can do and undo. Our people are strong enough to do a lot of things. For the fact that we are peace-loving and we keep quiet doesn't mean that we are stupid or something. It's Christianity that's holding us back. Go back our history and find out about our people. It's just that they tweak our history, they make it look like we don't know all these things. So if they don't call their people to order, and then we will be forced to react, and then they should remove the soldiers from there.
Our demands are straight. We want to break away from Kaduna State. We want to break away because this thing keeps continuing. It's devastating. It's continuously. And since the government can't protect us, let them free us from that land.
The Kaduna State government have beefed up security in the area. The governor has also promised the people of handling the crisis, but the people seem to have lost confidence in the ability of both the federal and state governments to address the carnage.
The demands we're making of the government, starting from His Excellency, our governor, is to do the needful, to ensure that there is peace in the southern Kaduna communities. He's the Chief Security Officer of Kaduna State. It is his responsibility to ensure that there is peace. So we're calling on him to do all that is necessary to ensure that these killings come to an end.
Now that the people of southern Kaduna says they are left with no other option than to defend themselves, it may be the right time for government to act decisively before southern Kaduna becomes a lawless area. From Abuja, Tunji Oye, TV360 News.
Well, talking politics now, there seems to be trouble for Osage Izeyamu, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, in the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State. The Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered a substituted service of a suit seeking his disqualification and that of his running mate, Audu Ganiu. Justice Taiwo gave the order on Tuesday, saying the court document and the hearing notice for the next sitting be pasted at the residence of the APC candidate. The suit was filed by a member of the APC Edo State chapter who alleged irregularities in Ganiu's name and academic credentials submitted to INEC. This is coming less than 1 month to the September governorship election due to hold in Edo State. Still with the judiciary, the Nigerian Navy has secured its first conviction under the new piracy law of 2019 as the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt on Monday convicted 3 pirates for hijacking an Equatorial Guinea flagged vessel 5 months ago. Chief of Naval Staff Commodore Suleiman Dahon confirmed the development in a statement released on Tuesday. According to him, the Navy had filed 7 charges against 9 suspected pirates who were arrested in connection with the attack, while 3 pleaded guilty to 2 of the charges. The rest pleaded not guilty. Ruling on the matter, Justice Ishak Sani convicted the 3 men on counts 1 and 2 under the new Anti-Piracy Act of 2019 and ordered them to pay a fine of 10 million naira each on each of the counts. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will challenge the verdict of the appeal court that voided the deregistration of 22 political parties. Spokesperson for the commission, Festus Okoye, in a statement on Monday, said the electoral umpire will approach the Supreme Court for a final judgment on the matter. The appeal court in Abuja had on Monday ruled in favor of 22 political parties who challenged the powers of INEC to annul their registration. The appellate court held that while INEC is empowered by the Constitution to deregister political parties, it did not follow due process in annulling the registration of the 22 concerned parties. Meanwhile, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has thrown its weight behind the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to go ahead with the governorship election in Edo and Ondo states, following the recent Court of Appeal judgment that stops INEC from deregistering some political parties. There have been calls from different groups that INEC release the parties and allow them take part in the coming elections. But IPAC, at a media briefing in Abuja on Tuesday, said it is unreasonable for INEC to cancel an election in which huge resources have been expended to accommodate the parties.
The Council disassociates itself with the call by our colleagues to stampede the Commission to hurriedly release the deregistered political parties. For an election that has gone 95% circle, we see this call for postponement of Edo and Ondo state governorship election as an act by unpatriotic Nigerians who resolve to throw this country into a political armageddon. Anybody that will set out to stall a project that is dear to Nigerian should be considered as not only unpatriotic, but should be excommunicated from the Committee of Rational Human Beings.
There are 2 conflicting judgments emanating from the same court. One says INEC has the power to do what it did. The second one says INEC has no powers to do what it did. And in that instance now, as political parties, it will be prejudicial because we're aware that the matter is before the Supreme Court. The first one that was taken to Supreme Court by NUP is still pending. We are not celebrating the pains of any political party, but we are saying that if the highest court in the land, which is the Supreme Court, takes a decision as to the direction to follow, we will willingly abide by that decision. And the text is very, very clear on that.
Well, let's take a break here, but still to come, Nigeria receives over 200 ventilators from the United States as national COVID-19 toll nears 50,000. Glad to have you join us again. If you just joined in the news, here are some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has again met with service chiefs and state governors in a bid to find a lasting solution to the security challenges facing the country. The meeting is the second in the last 2 days. At the first meeting on Monday, President Buhari revealed that Nigeria is purchasing modern equipment to boost its military capacity to tackle insurgency and banditry. Well, there seems to be trouble for Sage Izeyamu, candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State, as a federal high court in Abuja has ordered substituted service of a suit seeking his disqualification and that of his running mate Audu Ganiu. The suit was filed by a member of the APC Edo State chapter who alleged irregularities in Ganiu's name and academic credentials submitted to INEC. The Nigerian Navy has secured its first conviction under the new piracy law of 2019 as a federal high court in Port Harcourt on Monday convicted 3 pirates for hijacking an Equatorial Guinea flagged vessel 5 months ago. The convicted pirate, who pleaded guilty to 2 of the charges filed against them, were ordered to pay a fine of 10 million naira each on each of the counts.
Kegbo.
How far shey tomorrow still dey on?
What's your tomorrow?
Community meeting na.
You know they hear Abi?
Na begi. See, if we meet for my house, inside parlor, then go know.
This COVID-19 is not a child's play. If you want to elect a new secretary, we fit to do one for WhatsApp, or for Skype, or even on Zoom. Or we just wait. I will not negotiate this social distancing. It is not negotiable.
Not every infected person shows symptoms, but every infected person is contagious. Avoid large gatherings and self-isolate if you think you might have come in contact with a carrier. Your safety and the safety of others is in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Well, shifting focus to the coronavirus pandemic, the world might just be a step away from containing the COVID-19 pandemic as Russia today announced the approval of a vaccine which it says offers sustainable immunity against the infection. President Vladimir Putin made the announcement during a televised video conference call with ministers this morning, saying for the first time in the world, a vaccine against the new coronavirus was registered in Russia. Putin assures that the vaccine, which is at the last phase of clinical trials after 2 months of testing, is safe and has been administered to his daughter. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has said the purported vaccine will undergo rigorous testing and trials before it can be approved. Meanwhile, public health physician Tuyime Bawandu has been reacting to the announcement of the first COVID-19 vaccine by Russia. In an exclusive interview with TV360 Nigeria, the medical expert called for caution in the adoption of the vaccine by other countries, warning that phase 3 trials must be conducted to confirm the safety before approval.
There's a lot of politics of COVID-19 and the vaccines, and there's a lot of finance attached to the vaccine. Okay, now let's get it straight. Russia has not been able to provide the necessary scientific data to back up their COVID-19 vaccines. They've not provided it. And secondly, I think around April, a law was enacted by the Kremlin bypassing or aborting the phase 3 clinical trial. You know that the vaccines go through at least 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. The phase 3 is the final clinical trial where more than 1,000, 5,000 people will be tested, will be given and then we look at the effect. All these things take about 1.5 years. Even if you are in a hurry, why are you in a hurry about critical scientific data? Now, for us, we still have to fold our arms and be looking. For me, if I were to be a country, I'll be very, very careful in adopting those vaccines. Look at it. Russia is already claiming that it has about 1 billion people worldwide that's ready to buy the vaccine from them. They are putting money, they are putting pecuniary consideration above safety and sound scientific process. It is not done. We shouldn't allow that to happen. But if anybody chooses to take Russia vaccine, well, we should wait for them to apply it on themselves sufficiently and see the effects before anybody then embraces it.
Well, 5 months after it promised to assist Nigeria's fight against the coronavirus, the United States has donated over 200 ventilators to the Nigerian government. The ventilators presented on Tuesday by the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Leonard, were received by Nigeria's Health Minister, Osage Hanire, at the Abuja Premier Medical Warehouse. It is expected to significantly boost Nigeria's effort in managing COVID-19 patients. Nigeria currently has 46,867 confirmed COVID-19 cases, of which more than 33,000 have recovered, while 950 deaths have been recorded. While increasing negligence of COVID-19 protocols by commercial bus drivers and passengers can lead to a spike in the number of cases across the country. Public health physician Feyintola Ganiu gave the warning in a chat with TV360 Nigeria. She stressed that there is every probability that community spread of the infection will continue if the issue of physical distancing and use of face masks is not taken seriously.
Public transport people, both the drivers and the passengers, first of all, they don't even adhere to the rule of 2 per seat. And you see that even the passengers in the public transport are not even with their face masks. If they have their face masks, they're not wearing it. As a result of that, it can lead to higher number of COVID cases that we are encountering presently. Aside from that, when they go to their houses, they can transfer it to members and also their workplace. So if you say that the community spread is going to increase more than even acquiring it at the health facility, aside from the healthcare workers that have that in common. The public transport drivers, the conductors, the passengers, because by the time they leave that bus, they go to meet with other people. So it increases the community spread of the virus amongst various enterprises. We are still encouraging and telling them that even if I put my face mask on, it doesn't mean that you will not hear me. I'm still talking and you can hear me. So we encourage them that even while calling passengers, they should still keep their face mask on, because it doesn't stop them from hearing them. In fact, with your face mask on doesn't mean that they won't hear you if you are calling Oshodi, Oshodi, when you are calling Mushin, Mushin. It won't stop them from hearing them properly. Because aside from that, COVID is an airborne and droplet disease. So with that being an airborne and droplet disease, as they shout out the amount of viruses that come out, they're not going the 2 meter distance, the 2 meter distance they're supposed to keep. So the other person beside them can actually just take that one in. And before you know it, that one also comes down with the virus. So them not wearing the face mask poses a great threat to their passengers, to their family, and even to the environment at large. So we are appealing to them that besides that, if they put on their face mask, we're not just saying wear your face mask for fashion's sake or for any other thing. It's just for preventing yourself and also the next person beside you.
And a look at the COVID-19 situation outside Nigeria. One of New Zealand's biggest city, Auckland, will be locked down for at least 3 days from Wednesday as the country reports its first locally transmitted coronavirus infections after more than 102 days of recording no new infections. After receiving global praise for its success containing the virus, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said 4 cases had been detected in a single family in Auckland from an unknown source. On this backdrop, a new lockdown will be imposed and some social distancing restrictions will be reintroduced. New Zealand reported just 22 deaths in a population of 5 million and had not recorded community transmission since May 1st, 2020. Well, still to come is business stories and more after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's now talk business. Oyin Adekunle is standing by with all the details. Hello, Oyin.
Hi, Fidelia.
So what's making headlines over there?
Oh, well, less than 24 hours after it's commenced a statewide industrial action to protest harsh working conditions, fuel tankers in Lagos State have returned to work. The strike was called off after the state government met with the drivers on Monday and agreed to meet their demands. According to a joint communique released after the meeting, heads of all security agencies will ensure the free passage of petroleum products vehicles, while relevant government agencies will address the issue of harassment by street thugs. The Lagos government also resolved to set up a standing committee to relate with the union on an ongoing basis to address any issue as they arise. The Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Muda Yusuf, has thrown his weight behind the decision of the federal government to consider reopening of the land borders from neighboring countries. The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, had given a hint that Nigeria may reopen its borders following constraints caused by the COVID-19 pandemic on Nigerian businesses. Yusuf, who spoke on TV360, spoke to TV360 Nigeria via Skype, noted that with strengthened capacity in place, Nigeria is in a safe place to reopen its borders.
A few lessons have been learned, both from the private sector and the public sector, and I believe that a few measures have been put in place to ensure better compliance with those who engage in cross-border trade. The capacity of those who also have the responsibility to enforce compliance at the borders, I presume that the capacity has been strengthened. I expect that better use of technology has been deployed and better consultation with our neighboring countries to ensure that we get the cooperation of also the neighboring countries to ensure proper compliance with the ECOWAS protocols. So with all that in place, I believe that the border can be reopened. I believe we are ready.
We'll take a break here and return with stock market review. Please stay with us. The NSE today recorded its second decline in the week, with crucial market indicators dipping by 0.58%, while investors lost about 75 billion naira and market cap closed at 12.9 trillion naira. This downturn was impacted by losses in the stocks of large and medium capitalized stocks, amongst which are Dangote Cement, Guinness, Mansard, as well as Ikeja Hotel. On the flip side, Nigeria Breweries led the pack of gainers with a 2 naira increase in the value of its share price, Value Fund also saw an increase of 1 naira and 15 kobo. Adova and Cadbury also chalked up gains today at the close of trading. In summary, about 206.6 million units of shares worth 2.47 billion naira exchange hands in 3,925 deals. And moving on now to the foreign scene, we see that FTSE is pushing ahead after jumping U.S. stocks on stimulus hopes. Nikkei is also higher by 1.88%. And that's it on business. It's back to you now, Fidelia.
Thank you very much, Rain, for that update now. 9 new judges of Mali's Constitutional Court were sworn in on Monday in the capital, Bamako, in a bid to end the political crisis in the West African country. The new judges, 6 men and 3 women, took office during a ceremony attended by embattled President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta and former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, who leads mediation by the ECOWAS regional bloc. The Constitutional Court was at the heart of a crisis in Mali, leading to a widespread protest movement calling for the resignation of President Keïta. Lebanon's government has resigned amid mounting anger over last week's explosion, which devastated parts of the capital, Beirut, and left more than 200 people dead. Prime Minister Hassan Diab announced the government's resignation in a national television address on Monday evening. The massive blast was caused by the detonation of 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate stored unsafely at the port for years. President Michel Aoun has asked the government to stay on in a caretaker capacity until a new cabinet is formed. And talking sports, the local organizing committee of the Edo 2020 National Sport Festival have expressed confidence that they can host a befitting competition if they get the nod to stage the event this year. Minister of Youth and Sport Development Sunday Dare in March announced the indefinite postponement of the festival, which was initially built to hold on March 22nd to April 1st in Benin City. But with recent ease of social and sporting activities across the country, athletes are optimistic that the event can still hold this year. Well, that's it on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.